It's time to take command with former NFL tight end Logan Paulsen and former Commanders beat reporter Craig Hoffman.
Anybody else stand out? I said you want to do corners, right? So
let's do safeties. We'll do safeties first. Okay. I will say that we'll kind of combine them together. I will say that for whatever reason, the corners, so Nick Whiteside II out of Saginaw State, DeMarcus Fields out of Texas Tech, and DJ Striggs out of Missouri Western, couldn't find a lot of film on those guys. Like in the database that I use, the names didn't come up. And it makes sense with the Saginaw State and Missouri Western because those schools aren't like big D1 programs. But the Texas Tech kid didn't come up either. So a little confounded by that. I will say they all have the frame you want, 6'1", Nick Whiteside, 6'1", 200 pounds. DeMarcus Fields from Texas Tech, 6 foot, 200 pounds. DJ Striggs, 6'1", 202 pounds. So kind of a bigger corner that they like here. I thought at rookie minicamp they all moved well. Again, Nick Whiteside I thought made some good plays, but also got beat a couple times by Jalen Sample from Minnesota State deep down the field. Again, it's rookie minicamp. They're learning the defense. They're learning when they have help. So, take that for what it's worth. But I'm not sure that any of those guys are going to definitively like stand out in camp. They've got a lot of depth there at the cornerback position, especially drafting 2 in the first and second round. So I'm kind of pumping my brakes on this group, but we'll see. Maybe someone flashes in training camp. The safeties, however, are very interesting. Kendall Smith, Illinois safety, 6'1", 205 pounds. He played obviously in that backfield with all these Illinois defensive backs that got drafted, and he was the fourth guy. He plays, he's a bigger guy. He's 205 pounds. I thought he was going to be in the box a little bit more. He's a true post safety, and he's not the fastest guy in the whole world. He's not like the most explosive guy, but he is very instinctive, and I like that for a true post, a guy that just kind of drifts to the ball in the right way. I think he had 5 interceptions, right?
I think that's right.
Just kind of being around the football, like getting tipped up or catching it. Like he's got good ball skills. And for a defense that's trying to prioritize that, I think that's great. He played safety. So I think that's obviously advantageous, for special teams value and stuff like that. Is he going to make the roster out the gate? No, he's got a long road ahead of him because they've got a couple guys here, Percy Butler, namely, who are very good at playing post. And he lacks the same kind of versatility as some of the other guys they've drafted in the past. He is a post player. So he's going to have to make it. He's going to have to maybe diversify his skill set a little bit, but a good football player, fun to watch his tape, hard to watch his tape because he is in the deep post a lot. So you got to watch like 7 games for him to make like 3 tackles, but that's not his fault. That's just because he plays the post all the time. The other guy from Michigan State, Xavier Henderson from Michigan State, 6'1", 210 pounds. Man, I turned on his tape and I was kind of blown away by it. I was like, how did this dude not get drafted? He ran a 4.4 at his pro day. He's a big guy, 210 pounds. He hits like a big guy. He can track the ball well. He plays the overhang kind of star nickel position, which again is like the Buffalo nickel position in this defense. Right. I thought he did a really nice job of that. And I was like, why didn't he get drafted? He did have a knee injury after the first game of the season that affected his ability to play. And then he came back and he's wearing this big ass knee brace. And I still thought he played well. So obviously a tough kid. Football is important to him, at least from that analysis. And I was like, well, why isn't he not? Why didn't he get drafted, basically? Because he's fast, he's physical, he hits hard. And I think the thing I settled on is he's not great at taking on blocks. He's got 30-inch arms. And, like Cam Curley plays the Buffalo nickel, has 32-inch arms, right? So there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. He has a hard time getting off even big receivers. So I thought when I first watched this film, when you watch his key plays, you're like, man, this guy's going to walk in and be the Buffalo nickel. Because he did it in college. He basically played linebacker. Overhang, he also played a little bit in the post. So he's got a lot of position versatility. I just don't know if at the NFL level, if he has enough snap and enough technical acumen to get off blocks with tight ends and offensive linemen, or if he's just going to get enveloped. So I was super excited. I was like, man, this guy is my sleeper. He's going to make the team. And so I ended up watching like an hour of film on him. And then as you get into the deeper cut of it, you're like,
right, you get past the highlights portion and you're like,
maybe this is it. And he, again, he moves well, he hits well. There's good stuff there. It's just the blocks, taking on blocks in and around the line of scrimmage, which is a key part of that position, he didn't look super comfortable doing that. So that's, again, all these guys have their warts, that's his wart. And so I think that's interesting, obviously. And then there's three guys left. I didn't really watch the quarterback because he's a quarterback, undrafted free agent quarterback. He might make the practice squad. Who knows? The guy of the two remaining guys is Joshua Pryor from Bowie State. He's listed at 280. At rookie minicamp, he probably looks like 235, 240. Not, I think that's an inflated number. It looked a little out of sorts at rookie minicamp. Again, hard to find film of him because he's a small school guy.
What position are we talking here?
He plays defensive line, and at 280, I was like, oh, he's going to be like this big edge shedder. He's more of a stand-up outside linebacker, just looking at his frame. I'm not saying he can't develop into something, but he just looked really raw at the rookie minicamp. So, we'll see how that progresses. Mason Brook from Mississippi State. He's listed as offensive tackle. He played offensive guard. It says I have Mississippi State here, but it's Ole Miss, excuse me. 6'6", 315. And this dude, Craig, holy cow. He didn't practice, but he looked the part, man. He looked the part. He's a big, tall dude, good athlete. I do not understand. He transferred in from Western Michigan to Ole Miss last year. He played like basically 90 snaps at the beginning of the year, and then something happened. He didn't play the rest of the year. So I don't know what happened, but in his snaps, he's a guy who athletically, physically can do it. You know what I mean? And so like with UDFAs, you're kind of like, what happened? And I would assume it had something to do with him, whatever happened at Ole Miss that led to him not playing for the majority of the last half of the season. Like, I don't know what that is, but he can play football. So in terms of offensive line depth, getting some value in the draft, I think they're, undrafted free agent guy, like that's a heck of a find. And we'll see how it develops, obviously, but athletically, all those things are checked. I was pretty impressed with him. His college tape. He didn't practice, obviously.
Thanks for watching this clip of Take Command. First, why don't you like it? It lets other people know that it was good, and then they should watch it too. And Logan, we have a new exclusive home for full episodes.
We do. 1067 The Fans YouTube page. Go check it out and please subscribe.
Yeah, do what Logan said.
Do it.
Very, very smart.